Hello student, my name is Nimish Prabhakar. I am Assistant Professor at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology in Instrumentation and Control Department. Welcome to Process, Dynamic and Control lecture series. In this lecture, we study about second order system. In my previous lecture, we studied about first order system and non-linear first order system and first order system. Now in this lecture we discuss about second order system. So first of all, question occur in mind, what is second order system or which system is known as second order system? So definition for this, a second order system is one whose output is described by the solution of second order differential equation. That means one system whose output, that means y of t, is defined by the solution of second order differential equation. That means that system is known as second order system. So mathematically we can represent second order system as a2 d square y by dt square plus a1 dy by dt plus a0 y is equals to bf of t. Here, if in this term a2 d square y by d by dt square is equals to 0, then system is known as first order system. Because second order derivation is not present, then that system is known as first order system. But if second order derivation is present, that means this system is known as second order system. Now we consider one case. Before that, here the f of t is represent the forcing function or input and y is represent the output. Now if we consider a0 is not equals to 0, that means this term a0 is not equals to 0, so we can write this equation as a2 by a0 d square y by dt square plus a1 by a0 dy by dt plus y b by a0 into f of t. Here we divide whole equation by a0, so we get this, and we can write this equation as tau square d square y by dt square plus 2 zeta tau dy by dt plus y is equals to kp f of t. Here tau is represent the natural period of oscillation of system. Tau square is nothing but a2 by a0, and here 2 zeta tau is represent a1 by a0, and zeta is damping factor, and kp is equals to b by a0, and kp is same as in first order system, steady state gain or static gain or process gain. Now this is the general equation of the second order system. Now we take the Laplace of this equation. So we can write tau square, and Laplace of second order derivation is s square into y of s. 2 zeta tau is same, and Laplace of first order derivation is s into y of s plus y of s is equals to kp into f of s. Now we take y of s is common from this equation from left hand side, so we can write this equation as y of s into bracket tau square s square plus 2 zeta tau plus 1 is equals to kp into fs. Now we can write or rearranging this equation as y of s upon f of s is equals to kp upon tau square into s square plus 2 zeta tau ts plus 1. But y of s upon f of s is nothing but the transfer function. So we can write the transfer function of second order equation as g of s is equals to y of s upon f of s is equals to kp upon tau square s square plus 2 zeta tau s plus 1. So this is a transfer function of second order equation. Now, for better understanding, we take one example of second order system. We get second order system by series connection of two first order system. So we can also get second order system by connecting two first order system in series, and we can also get second order system differently. But here we see the example of U-tube manometer. Simple second order system, the U-tube manometer. Here in figure, see the U-tube manometer. Figure represent the before and after. That means at initial stage the manometer position, and after that final stage manometer position. Here in this system, L, this L is represent the length of fluid column in the manometer. Okay, and this D is represent the diameter of tube. Now at initial stage, at that time the pressure on the both leg at same. That means at initial stage there is no movement in this fluid. That means this mercury fluid is not move, because at initial state the pressure P1 is equals to 0 and P2 is equals to 0, or both the pressure are same. So at that time there is no movement in this mercury level. But if P1 is greater than P2, that means we change. In this P1 is greater than P2, that means here if we apply more pressure than this, then at that time due to this more pressure, this mercury level or this level is increased. So this is a change in height. This is H. So that means this is a reference level at T is equals to 0 time. Here both the level are same in mercury level. But if we apply more pressure, so this mercury level goes downward side from left hand side, and in right hand side this level go upward side. And this H is represent the change in this mercury level height. So H by 2, this is a total H. Now here what is the aim? The aim is to determine the transfer function between the applied pressure difference delta P and the manometer reading height. That means we have to determine the transfer function between delta P, that means the change in pressure, upon this height. We have to determine. So for this we take the force balance equation, or it's also known as Newton's second law of motion. So from Newton's second law of motion we can write for this manometer, sum of force causing fluid to move is equals to rate of change of momentum of fluid. That means this is the sum of force, this is the pressure, sum of force causing fluid to move. So this force is to change the fluid move, and is equals to rate of change of momentum of fluid. That means due to that force, this change in the momentum, this fluid move from this to this side. This is equals to same, and we can write sum of force causing fluid to move is equals to unbalanced pressure force causing motion minus fractional force opposing motion. That means this term sum of force causing fluid to move is equals to unbalanced pressure. That means the balance, this pressure is changed. We know if P1 is greater than P2, then this condition is achieved. This unbalanced pressure force causing motion minus frictional force. This frictional force is present due to this fluid in this tube in this opposite side. So this is the minus sign. Now first of all we calculate unbalanced pressure force causing to motion. So for that we can write unbalanced pressure force causing to motion is equals to P1 into A minus P2 into A minus rho GHA. Now question occur in your mind, how this term come? So P1 into A come due to the net downward force on left hand side. That means this side. Net downward force P1 due to the pressure 1, downward force P1, and A is represent the area. Same as this term is come due to net downward force on right hand side, this term into area. And last one term is come due to weight of additional mercury. Because of this additional mercury weight, this term is come. So this is nothing but rho G into H into A. Now here A is common and area is nothing but 5 by 2 d square. So we can write here A is common and we know A is equal to pi d square by 4. So P1 minus P2 minus rho GH, and this A is equal to pi d square by 4. So we get unbalanced pressure force causing motion. And now next one we find out frictional force opposing motion. So this frictional force is equals to skin frictional at wall. So this skin frictional at wall is nothing but the multiplication of shear stress at wall into area in contact with wall. So shear stress at wall and area in contact with wall we can write in mathematical term. So shear stress at wall we can write 8 nu by d into V bar, and area in contact with wall we can write pi d into L. Now this term is come from Young-Poisson relation for the luminar flow. So this term come from this, and here V is represented. So V is nothing but the average velocity of fluid in the tube, which is nothing but the 1 by 2 dH by dt. So this term is nothing but 1 by 2 dH by dt. This is a velocity due to the pressure change. This is a velocity. So it's nothing but 1 by 2 dH by dt. So we can write this equation as 8 nu d, and for this V we can write 1 by 2 dH by dt into pi dl. So finally we get frictional force is equals to 8 nu pi d 1 by 2 dH by dt and pi dl. Now next one is rate of change of momentum of fluid. So rate of change of moment of fluid is nothing but d by dt into mass into velocity into momentum correction factor. So we can write this equation as d by dt, mass is nothing but rho pi d square by 4 into L, and velocity is nothing but V bar, and momentum correction factor is beta. Here we know V bar is equals to 1 by 2 dH by dt. So we get this equation. And for luminar flow, beta value is 4 by 3. So we get finally equation rho pi d square by 4 into L, and this beta is equals to 4 by 3, and we can write 1 by 2. This is a V is nothing but, this is a 1 by 2 dH by dt, and this d by dt. So d square h by dt square. We get d square h by dt square, this term. Okay. So this is a rate of change of momentum of fluid. Now we merge all this equation. So that means we put all this equation in this equation. So we get rho pi d square by 4 into L into 4 by 3 into 1 by 2 d square h by dt square. So here first one we write the rate of change of momentum of fluid. So this term is represent the rate of change of momentum of fluid, and is equals to, this term is represent unbalanced pressure force causing motion, minus this term represent frictional force opposing motion. Now we rearranging this term. So we get rho pi d square by L into 4 by 3 into 1 by 2 d square h by dt square. Now this term is come in the left hand side. So minus sign is plus. So plus 8 nu by d 1 by 2 ds by dt pi d L, plus this term is also come in the left hand side. So minus sign is plus. So rho gh pi d square by 4, and this is the P1 minus P2 into pi d square by 4. Now we dividing both the side by rho g into pi d square by 4. So whole equation we divide by the rho g pi d square by 4. So finally we get equation as 2L upon 3g d square h by dt square plus 16 nu L upon rho d square by d square g into dh by dt plus h P1 minus P2 upon rho g. But we know P1 minus P2 is nothing but delta P. So we write here delta P is equals to rho g. So now this is a second order equation for the U-tube manometer. Now we comparing this equation with the second order equation, mathematical or general equation of second order. So by comparing this equation with the general equation, we get tau square is equals to, this tau square is equals to 2L by 3g. So we know tau is equals to under root 2L by 3g, and 2 zeta tau is equals to 16 nu L rho d square into g. So we get zeta is equals to 8 nu upon rho d square under root 2L upon 3g. So this is an example of second order system. Okay. So in this lecture we study about the second order